All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important yet kind of invisible pieces of technology that powers our digital world, the API. You probably don't even see it, but trust me, you use it dozens of times a day. Let's figure out how. No, seriously, have you ever stopped to think about it? How does your weather app on your phone know it's going to rain? Or how can a travel site show you flights from a dozen different airlines all at once? It feels like magic, right? Well, behind that magic is a really clever, invisible set of rules.
I mean, here's a perfect example we've all done. You hit one button and boom, a totally separate website knows exactly who you are. You don't have to create a new password or anything. How on earth do these different services talk to each other so smoothly and securely? Well, the answer to all of that is a little three-letter acronym.
That acronym is API, which stands for Application Programming Interface. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but the actual idea is incredibly simple. Think of an API as a digital middleman, or maybe like a translator, that lets two totally different pieces of software have a conversation. It's the rulebook for how they ask for and share information with each other. To really make this concept stick, let's step away from the world of code for a second and use a really simple everyday analogy. Come on, let's go to our restaurant. So just picture it. You're sitting at a table. You are the customer, or the application, that needs something. And the kitchen, with all its food and chefs and equipment, that's the system that has all the stuff you want to access. But here's the thing. You can't just wander into a restaurant kitchen and start cooking your own steak, right? You need someone to bridge that gap. And that someone is the waiter. The waiter is our API. And look how perfectly this maps out. First, you look at the menu, a list of pre-approved requests, and decide what you want. Then the waiter, the API, takes your very specific order to the kitchen. The kitchen, the system, does its thing and prepares exactly what you asked for. And finally, the waiter brings the finished meal right back to you. The key is, the waiter doesn't need to know how to cook. They just need to know how to take your request, bring it to the kitchen, and deliver the result. That, in a nutshell, is an API. Okay, so the restaurant analogy is a fantastic start. But how does this actually play out in the digital world, in the wild? Let's look at a real-world example I guarantee you've used before. We're going to go from ordering food to ordering a plane ticket. So you're on a travel website, think Expedia, Kayak, whatever you use, and you want to find the best flight from, say, New York to London. Now here's the secret. That travel website doesn't actually own any of that flight data, not a bit of it. When you type in your search, the website is our waiter. It uses each airline's API to send a request, your request, to their giant databases, which are the kitchens. The airline system finds all the matching flights, and then the API grabs that info and delivers it right back to the travel website for you to see. And it's doing this for a bunch of airlines, all at the same time, all thanks to their APIs. And this is where you start to see that APIs aren't just some neat little trick. They are, quite literally, the fundamental connective tissue of the modern internet. They're what allows our digital world to be so incredibly integrated and powerful. And this really gets to the core of why they're so powerful. First, they let different programs share data securely without having to give away all their secrets. They also let us automate all sorts of tasks. When you post a photo to Instagram, an API can automatically save a copy to your Dropbox. That's an API working for you. And all of this lets developers build these incredible digital experiences by mixing and matching services from all over the web. I mean, just think about an Uber ride. The app itself uses the Google Maps API for all the navigation. Then it uses a payment API, maybe from PayPal or Stripe, to handle the money part. That's at least 3 separate services from different companies, all working together in one app to give you a single, seamless experience. That right there, that's the magic of APIs. Now, just like you have different kinds of restaurants, you also have different types of APIs, and they're each designed for a specific purpose. So let's take a quick peek behind the curtain. So broadly speaking, you've got 3 main flavors. First, you have public APIs. These are open for any developer in the world to use. Think of a weather data API that anyone can plug into their app. Then you've got private APIs, which are used just inside a single company to help their own systems talk to each other better. And finally, you have partner APIs. These are shared only between specific, trusted business partners, like that connection between a travel website and an airline. Each one of these types has a different job, basically managing who gets to ask for what, but they all work on that same basic idea, being that essential middleman, the waiter for our entire digital world. Okay, so we've gone through the definition, a fun analogy, some real-world examples, but if you only remember one single thing from all this, what should it be? It's this. APIs are the invisible language that our entire digital world speaks. They're the reason our apps aren't just a bunch of lonely islands, but part of this huge, connected, collaborative ecosystem. So the next time you use an app that seems to magically pull information from another service, you'll know. It's not magic at all. It's just a really, really good waiter. Makes you wonder, what will they connect next?